What have I woken up to? Well, as it currently stands, my Hbox video now has 12,000 views, with about a 2-to-1 relationship between likes and dislikes. I have to say, as a 64 streamer, this level of exposure is not something I'm particularly used to. Usually my videos get about 11,800 fewer views than this. I just want to take this opportunity to address some of these comments, some of the misconceptions, and maybe identify a few running themes. So number one, the most common misconception was that I was talking about how Hbox had just lost a melee set and was on tilt, and that was the reason that he couldn't give the kid the autograph. That's not true. Someone actually just left a really good comment about this, demonstrating this point pretty well. V115 says, all these people defending Hbox really somehow thinking he lost to a guy named Shears in melee. Like, have you heard of Shears, the melee player? Like, how could you have even made that misunderstanding? Whatever. Had just gotten done losing to Shears in Smash 64.
Oh. Being a good sport. Hbox is smiling while he walks off.
And that guy was pissed. Now, the only reason he would be on tilt is because Shears is an extremely bad player, and it's hard to lose to him. I think Hbox was taking it pretty well. He walked away from the set, he was smiling, he seemed fine, he didn't seem like he was in a rush or anything, and that's when the kid asked him if he would sign the autograph. Now, ignoring for a second the fact that he wasn't tilted, he absolutely was not tilted, let's consider how acceptable it is for somebody to lose a set in a game that they play, and then be salty enough that they turn down a 5-year-old kid for an autograph. Like, in a vacuum, in the best possible version of that argument, he is still someone who is so unable to regulate his anger from a game that he plays to sign an autograph for a 5-year-old kid. Like, does that even sound like a good argument? It doesn't to me. And even assuming that Hbox really was on tilt, he was that Smash 64 set really meant that much to him. Annulus left a really good comment about this. I don't think a really young kid, like I was talking about, has the social grasp to know that a player might not be in the best spirits after they lose a set, nor should they be expected to. The pressure should be on the adult to be mature enough to put their own saltiness aside to do a favor for an innocent little kid. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It should be on Hbox to not be salty enough to say no to a little kid asking him for an autograph. How do you even get to a point where something means so much to you that you're like, no, I can't sign an autograph for a little kid? Like, come on, dude. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the idea that I made this video because of the Leffen drama. Now, Naruto Uzumaki Joshua says, Leffen started shitting on Hbox, so now everyone just wants to be cool guys and follow the trend. Typical. Great username, by the way. And my response to that is that Leffen posted his video on January 18th, 2018. The clip of me talking about Hbox was taken from my stream on January 17th, 2018. I had no idea that Leffen was going to have this on his stream. I had no idea he was going to make the video. One of my Twitch followers just so happened to ask me my favorite and least favorite Melee players, and I talked about it. And I made a video about it before I ever saw that Leffen's had come up. And if you watch the video, I had already planned on making a video on the stream on January 17th, the day before Leffen made his. I had already planned to make this video. I even say so at the end of the video. I'm gonna make a video of my I hate Hungrybox rant, and I'm gonna post it to Melee Hill. See how that goes. The only reason this video came out the day after Leffen's is because I was waiting to be added to Melee Hell of all things, so I could post it there. Now that being said, I made absolutely no traction on Melee Hell. I got 0 comments, 0 likes, nothing happened on it, so I didn't get any exposure from that. It's just a waste of time. But like, far and away, what is surprising me the most about all of the Hbox apologists is that they think there are all of these valid reasons to turn down a 5-year-old kid for an autograph. We're like, can you think of anything? Like, okay, so maybe like your grandmother is bleeding to death across the room, and unless you go and help her right now, she's going to die. Okay, I can understand that. I have all these people now who are like, oh, you only made this video because you wanted to get exposure, because, you know, hating on Hbox for views never goes out of style. Which wasn't the case. I was just sharing a story that had happened to me with my viewers. That was it. Now, I'm surprised that there weren't more people making fun of me for the video being extremely clickbaity. Because it definitely was. I felt extremely guilty making the thumbnail because it's by far the most clickbaity thumbnail I've ever made. But I figured, you know, ironic clickbait is kind of out the door. That's not the cool thing to do anymore. Now you make ironic clickbait unironically. So you have a serious clickbait title, but little does everyone know that you don't actually mean it. That's the latest and greatest meme on YouTube. What I've heard from a lot of my comments is that apparently, basically everyone has a bad Hbox story. So for all the people who are acting like, oh, you only have this reason to hate him, you're so close-minded. And I have a feeling that you guys are going around in all of the Hbox videos defending him for all of the different reasons that people hate him. For all these people going around YouTube defending Hbox, how do you respond to the fact that Hbox is universally hated on because of the things that he has done in the past? And like, while this story may sound like not that big of a deal, like, oh, okay, so he just didn't sign an autograph, you know, big whoop. The reason it's so bad is because it was such a small thing to do. Because it was such an objectively wrong thing not to do. Taking the time to sign an autograph for a little kid who respects you, who would not do that? Like, honestly, who would not take the 5 seconds it takes to sign an autograph for a little kid who likes you a lot as a player, who respects you, who looks up to you? There are so many people who would love to be in that situation, who would love to be a little kid's idol, who would love to make a little kid's day by signing an autograph for them. That's the reason it's such a big deal. It was a no-effort thing with an extremely high reward for the kid for doing it. What I got the most of from the Hbox supporters was just comments hating me, which I thought was kind of ironic. They're mad at me for having a legitimate reason to be upset with Hbox, while at the same time personally attacking me in a lot of cases. So let's go through some of my favorite hate comments. Not even an Hbox fan, but you are such a loser. Don't know the guy personally and you decide to make a video of why you hate him? This video is basically some random guy going, hey, look at me, I'm failing to be a relevant person, so I'm gonna dig up something out of the grave to get some sort of exposure. And then he talks about, like, how Leffen is mean because he made fun of some guy with a hearing aid, which I know nothing about, and I'm not defending. People like to assume that because I'm hating on Hbox, I'm automatically defending everyone who also hates on Hbox. I don't know anything about Leffen. I don't know anything about his stories, and I'm in no way a fan of his. Justin Spivey says, this video is like if Reddit comments were distilled into one video, which I think is hilarious, by the way. Felix responds, hate blown out of proportions? Check. Incel type piece of shit? Check. Basing your entire opinion on one thing? Check. Acting like you know someone's life story from one situation? Check. Yeah, it's pretty much just like a Reddit comment. I find it kind of hilarious that he's acting like he knows my entire life story from one situation. Hill Reject says, please tell me one more time he's a piece of crap. Yeah, you have a pretty good point. I said it way too many times. That's the bad thing about streaming, is that it's completely unfiltered. You don't just get to sit and edit, so when you say something stupid, you just cut it out, you know? Like I'm gonna do in this video. Nick T says, typical autistic 10-year-old laughing my ass off. Welcome to reality, lil kiddo. Hope your parents raised you good enough to face it, LMAO, smiley face. I don't think I need to comment on that one. Now, to my favorite comment, written by Tito with the teddy bear profile picture. Hbox isn't like the Globetrotters, they're performers, not competitors. Blah, blah, blah. The kid's parents are at fault for not teaching him how to understand social cues. Okay, yeah, okay. Ignoring that really good point and go to point number 2. The fact that a pasty, overweight, no-name streamer has the confidence to say Hbox, probably the god with the most professional background, is leeching off the government while also being sponsored, while also having a semi-successful stream, while also winning and being incredibly competitive is a joke. You're attempting to negate the work another person has done because you're struggling yourself. Wow, ouch, my insecurities. Let's rewrite this comment. Hey, fatty, you're white. Hating on Hbox because he's leeching off the government for all these reasons is a joke. Yes, it literally was a joke. Thank you for figuring that out. I'm attempting to negate the work another person has done because I'm struggling myself. Yeah, I have a crappy stream. You also have a really crappy stream and a bad following. Also true. Very insecure about that. Number 3. Look, I understand you have never been cool in your life, and that bandwagoning with the community you love will give you a brief I don't love Melee's community, come on. Will give you a brief respite from being the chubby dork you're fat again, you've been all of your life. And then at the end of his comment, he talks about how Hbox is his savior and he's wondering why he's being crucified, which makes me wonder if the entire comment was ironic. I'm really glad someone wrote this comment because the replies to it are absolutely golden. It seems like being an Hbox defender is the only thing that generates more hate than being an Hbox hater. Wika says, the kid is 5 and you're expecting to know social cues before his ABCs. Like, come on. Chicklemasta says, Hbox apologist LMAO, yeah, he's super salty losing a set in Smash 64. Because we all know he mains that game. That kid was super out of line. Because everybody knows that being a video game pro is a super important job that requires you to not be approached by anyone. Yes, that's exactly the point I'm making with my video, was that he thinks so highly of himself despite the fact that he has such an inconsequential hobby. Mr. Fiddlestick says, idolizing a chubby dork, calling this guy a chubby dork. Let's be fair, Hbox is also kind of overweight. And Tito got murdered over here. Now, just kind of to wrap everything up here, I just want to say, I'm not sorry that I shared my story about Hbox, and I'm not sorry that I told the truth about him in a way that was uncomfortable for a lot of his fans. By the way, I kind of want to say that I don't hate Hbox. Hate is a very strong description of what I actually feel towards him. I just have zero respect for the man after what I saw him do. Because, I mean, like, that story was absolutely indefensible for Hbox. There's nothing you can say that makes that okay. That situation was objectively bad. What I will apologize for is making such a clickbaity title and thumbnail. Sorry about that. I'll also apologize for calling him a piece of crap so many times. I will try to expand my vocabulary in the future. And I guess the fact that I didn't make it particularly clear that the set he lost was in Smash 64, not Melee. Yeah, sorry about that. That was my bad. Thanks for watching, everybody. Remember, never give up. Always believe in yourself. Hey, you fat, overweight, fat white guy. Why are you so fat, Whitey? You've never been cool in your whole life. Your community will never like you. You have no following. You're just jealous of Hungrybox. Hungrybox is cool and you're white and fat.